Silence in space is not the silence we know on Earth. It is not calm. It is not peaceful. It is a pressure, a weight, that sits on the fabric of reality itself. If you could stand in the void, you would feel it. Not as sound, but as absence. A coldness that is not temperature, but meaning. A stillness so complete it presses against your skin like an invisible hand, waiting for you to make the first mistake. In that silence, nothing moves loudly. Dead stars collapse without a whisper. White dwarfs cool into black dwarfs with no farewell. Rogue planets drift across eternity without a single sound. Asteroids collide in total, perfect quiet, their impacts lost in the vacuum. Nebulae, vast as 1,000 Earths, expand like ghostly breaths no one hears. Entire galaxies rotate in a hush so absolute it feels like the universe is holding its breath. This is the natural state of the cosmos, an endless graveyard where even the dead do not remember they once lived. And then, there is us. Our world hums with electricity. Our satellites pulse with constant telemetry. Our cities glow and chatter and radiate like a wound that will not close. Every broadcast we have ever made escapes Earth and spreads outward, rippling across the dark. Humanity is not quiet. Humanity is not cautious. We behave like a naive child wandering through a cemetery at night, laughing, singing, kicking stones. Unaware that the ground beneath our feet is filled with things that do not speak because they learned long ago that silence is the only real protection. But the child does not understand the rules of the graveyard. And the graveyard is listening. In any discussion about intelligent life, we make a fatal assumption that communication is safe. It is not. Because the universe is governed by a principle older than biology, older than stars, older than thought itself, the chain of suspicion. It begins the moment two civilizations become aware that the other might exist. We do not know if they are peaceful. They do not know if we are peaceful. We cannot predict their intentions. They cannot predict ours. Every possibility branches into infinite outcomes, and most of those outcomes end in death. Because kindness requires trust, and trust requires time. Time that neither side can risk giving. The chain of suspicion locks both civilizations into a single, brutal logic. If the other is hostile, they will strike first. If they are capable, they can annihilate you instantly. If there is even a small chance they might attack, you cannot afford to wait. This is not emotion. This is mathematics. To understand this, imagine two snipers trapped in a dark room. Neither wants to shoot. Neither wants to provoke a confrontation. But neither has information. They cannot see the other's face. They cannot hear their breathing. They do not know if the other's finger is on the trigger. They do not know if the other is frightened, calm, or already aiming. The logical choice, the only safe choice, is to fire as soon as detection is possible. Not because they want violence, but because hesitation is fatal. Now expand this scenario to a cosmic scale. Replace the snipers with civilizations. Replace the dark room with a universe where every star could hide a weapon. For a sufficiently advanced civilization, extermination is not war. It is maintenance, a cleanup operation. Cheap, efficient, risk-free. This is the dark forest. Not a universe filled with monsters, but a universe filled with strategists. They do not stay quiet because they are gentle. They stay quiet because survival demands it. But humanity has never understood the value of silence. Our mistake began almost a century ago. The first powerful radio signal ever to escape Earth was not a scientific message, but a political one. In 1936, Adolf Hitler's Olympic opening speech was broadcast across the world. A strong, focused transmission that pierced the atmosphere and began drifting outward at the speed of light. It became humanity's first unintentional announcement to the universe, a declaration of our existence, wrapped in the rhetoric of conflict. And the noise never stopped. By the 1950s, our planet was leaking television signals, military radar, navigation pulses. We are the only loud object in a silent night. But our most dangerous act came in 1974. At the Arecibo Observatory, humanity pointed a radio dish toward the stars and fired a focused message into the depths of space. It wasn't poetry, it was information, detailed, intimate, exposing. The Arecibo message included the structure of human DNA, our physical height, the layout of our solar system, the population of Earth, and our exact location. We gave strangers the keys to our front door. We told ourselves the target was too far, so it didn't matter. But distance is a human concern, not a universal one. If even a single, older, more advanced civilization intercepts that message, they will know everything they need, what we are, where we live, and how technologically primitive we remain. And we didn't stop there. The Voyager probes each carried a golden record, engraved with a map that pinpoints our position with mathematical precision. We launched those probes into interstellar space without understanding the first rule of the cosmic forest: do not leave footprints. Now, our signals travel outward forever. And with every passing year, our regret deepens, because you cannot take back a scream once it leaves your throat. And in the deepest, coldest forest of the universe, we have screamed louder than anyone. Even if humanity falls silent tonight, if every broadcast ends, if every satellite powers down, it no longer matters. Silence cannot undo the noise we have already made. Our radio waves continue outward, expanding in a growing sphere more than 100 light-years wide. Every year the sphere grows larger. Every year, more stars fall inside its reach. Every year, more potential eyes gain the chance to see us. Our past cannot be recalled. Our signals travel without us, carrying our identity like drifting spores. And somewhere, right now, in the cold, blind distance of the galaxy, a signal arrives, a pulse of information, a pattern, a structured burst of mathematics that could not be natural. Imagine a dark control chamber orbiting a star we do not know. Machines, ancient and tireless, sift through cosmic background noise. They detect our signal. They analyze the modulation. They recognize artificial origin, and they triangulate the source. In an instant, they know our location. They know our level of technology. They know we are young. They know we are vulnerable. Protocols awaken. Engines ignite. A fleet begins to move, not with anger, but with strategy. In the dark forest, the hunter does not celebrate the discovery of prey. It simply acts. And so the final truth settles over us like a shadow. The moment we spoke, the moment we made noise, the moment we revealed ourselves, the hunter began its approach. It is already on its way, and all we can do now is wait for the footsteps in the dark